When we think of biology, we usually picture something in a lab, maybe under a microscope. But what if nature's most brilliant ideas are actually all around us, just hidden in plain sight? Today, we're going to uncover that hidden genius. We're exploring how the natural world has shaped everything, from our oldest traditions to our most futuristic technology.
Think about it. From the super quiet nose of a bullet train to the way a skyscraper breathes, some of our greatest innovations are basically borrowing from nature's playbook. And this is no coincidence, it's a really powerful strategy. It really makes you wonder, right? Has nature already solved some of our most complex problems?
All right, so let's start with the blueprints. For billions of years, nature has been testing and perfecting its designs. And now, scientists and engineers are finally learning how to read them, turning simple imitation into an incredible tool for innovation.
Okay, check this out. On the left, you've got a termite mound, and on the right, a modern skyscraper. So what's the connection here? Well, the Eastgate building in Harare, Zimbabwe was designed by literally mimicking the brilliant natural ventilation of termite mounds. These insects totally perfected climate control, and architects just copied their design. The result? A building that uses a tiny fraction of the energy of its neighbors.
This really powerful idea actually has a name. It's called biomimicry. It's the art and science of looking to nature not just for stuff to use, but for genuine inspiration. It's all about asking, how would nature solve this problem? And then imitating its structures and systems to tackle our own challenges.
And it is not just buildings. Get this, early bullet trains created this massive, loud sonic boom whenever they shot out of a tunnel. The solution, and this is so cool, came from a totally unlikely source, the kingfisher. Engineers studied how its beak allows it to slice into water with almost zero splash, so they redesigned the train's nose to mimic that shape, and poof, the problem vanished. That's the genius of biomimicry right there.
So we've seen nature's blueprints on this big, grand scale. But the real genius of biology, well, it operates on a scale we can't even see. So now we're going to dive deeper, moving from the world of the seen to the totally unseen, to explore the microscopic engines that power all of life.
And right at the heart of this microscopic world are enzymes. You can think of them as these tiny biological nanomachines. Inside every single cell of every living thing, these proteins are just speeding up the chemical reactions that make life, live. Without them, nothing would happen. They are, quite literally, the spark of life.
So every machine needs an instruction manual, right? And these little biological engines are no different. Their manual is DNA. It's the ultimate source code, the fundamental blueprint that tells our cells exactly how to build and operate every single part of us.
So what happens when we learn to actually read that manual and start to harness those engines for ourselves? Well, that's biotechnology. It's where biology and technology completely merge, using living systems to create useful products. Everything from something as ancient as using yeast for bread and beer to something as modern as engineering genes.
And while the word biotechnology sounds super modern, the practice itself is ancient. Humans have been harnessing biology for thousands of years. This deep biological wisdom is just embedded in cultures all around the world, long before we had labs or even a word for it.
The simple act of making bread or brewing beer or fermenting foods, that is biotechnology in action. For centuries, we didn't understand the science behind yeast and bacteria, but we knew how to work with these living systems to get the results we wanted. Turns out we were biotechnologists all along.
The malting process is a perfect example. It's used in modern breweries and in traditional Ethiopian alcohol production, and the steps are pretty much the same. You soak grains to kind of trick them into sprouting, which activates those crucial enzymes we were just talking about. Then you dry them to stop the process and lock in all that potential. It's a precise biological manipulation that's been honed over centuries.
This wisdom goes way beyond the brewery, too. Traditional farmers, like those in Ethiopia, have had this profound understanding of genetics and breeding for generations. Long before modern science, they knew which plants to cross-pollinate and which traits to select for, all based on just careful observation. This is another amazing example of applied biology passed down through generations.
So, we've seen our power to both learn from and, manipulate biology. But with great power comes great responsibility, right? This brings us to a very human dilemma. How do we navigate the complex ethical landscape that our own knowledge has created?
This is kind of the balance sheet. Our understanding of biology has given us these incredible advances: better food security, life-saving medicines, new antibiotics. But it has also enabled industrial pollution, the depletion of our resources, and even the horrifying possibility of biological weapons.
It's a pretty stark reminder that the same knowledge can be used to heal or to harm.
One of the thorniest ethical issues has to be animal research. We know that animals are sentient beings, that they can feel pain. So how can research, which so often relies on them, possibly proceed ethically? It's a huge question the scientific community has had to confront head-on.
The answer lies in a framework known as the 3 Rs. The first R is for reduction. This principle pushes scientists to design smarter experiments and share their data better to avoid repeating studies. The goal is simple. Use the absolute minimum number of animals necessary to get a scientifically valid result, period.
The second R is refinement. Now, for any animals that absolutely must be used, this principle is all about their welfare. It means refining every single aspect of the experiment, from their housing and handling to the procedures themselves, to minimize any potential pain or distress.
And the final R, replacement, really represents the ultimate goal, to replace animal experiments entirely. This involves developing and using alternatives like cell cultures, human tissues, and these increasingly sophisticated computer models that can simulate biological systems without needing a living animal at all.
So where does all of this leave us? I mean, from copying a termite mound to confronting our own ethics, it's pretty clear our relationship with biology is complex. It challenges us to see ourselves not as masters of nature, but as active and responsible participants within it.
Our whole journey today has taken us from the visible to the invisible. We started out by learning from nature's grand designs. Then we dove into those microscopic engines that power life itself, saw how ancient cultures harness this power, and finally, we had to confront the profound responsibility that comes with all this knowledge.
Which really brings us to a final and pretty humbling thought. Life on Earth has been a research and development project for nearly 4 billion years. It's been constantly innovating, constantly solving problems. The answers are out there. The real question for us is, what should we ask nature to teach us next?